welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone had a great week. Quick shout out to everyone who came to the aura photography and chakra balancing session over the weekend. I had such a great time catching up with everyone. And, you know, it's always so hard to actually want to work when everybody's here because I'd rather just hang out with you guys and BS and, you know, girl talk and have a good time. But I always have to work. Maybe I need to do a session where you guys just come over and we hang out and don't worry about me working at all. Let me know if you guys are into that. Okay, those of you who couldn't make it to the over the weekend on Saturday, I do plan on having another one before the end of the year, so keep your eye out in your email inbox. This week, for some, could have been a little rough because one thing after another seemed to just pop up out of nowhere to be dealt with unexpectedly. Everything from minor to major injuries. I feel like cars breaking down, maybe even cars getting broken into, or maybe some other sort of theft, internet issues, computer issues, phone issues, interruptions, drama at work, fires, making mistakes unknowingly, maybe catching mistakes that you did make, doing double the work or redoing work that you already did because you caught something that you did make a mistake on, and anything else that I didn't mention here. Then there was another group that seemed to be dealing with more physical and emotional issues arising, like headaches, backaches, ear problems, eye problems, fatigue, restlessness, maybe a little anxiety, sleepless nights. Emotionally, I feel like there was some sadness looming around, some frustration, and lastly, fear. People from the past may have popped up as well, or reached out to you in some way. And I felt also like many people were having a lot of positive things happening too, having some fun, hanging out with friends and family, new job opportunities, and just an overall feeling of contentment and just lots of intense energies as usual. And it's not going to ease up. It's just going to continue. Basically, it's energies come in, we feel them, we have side effects from them, we integrate them, our body gets used to it. Then the next wave comes in, and it's just this constant ebb and flow of our vibrational frequency being lifted into higher and higher frequencies. According to the galactic calendar, otherwise known as the Mayan calendar, there are 20 solar tribes which reveal 20 unique evolutionary keys for the realization of human potential. Each tribe has 3 specific code words, exact keys to unlock the action, power, and essence. And these key words are meant to be reflected on and contemplated, or in other words, you just kind of focus on them to activate action, and to activate healing within you. And today's tribe is called White Wind. It refines the heart, and it's represented by your right middle finger. And the code words are communicates, spirit, and breath. White Wind advises breathe consciously, breathe deeply, communicate to convey your truths and create connections, follow your spirit without hesitation. And a great quote by Rumi for this is, "For spirit is so near that you can't see it." Beautiful, right? So contemplate these code words to help you achieve your goals. And you could do that tonight, maybe as you lay down. The way that we program our subconscious mind is as you're drifting off to sleep, you are doing visualizing exercises, and maybe you're taking in some deep breaths, you're visualizing connecting with your higher self, your spirit, you're communicating with your spirit, and as you drift off, you are going to program your subconscious, and your subconscious is what creates your reality that you experience day to day. And doing that before you fall asleep, it really is a powerful exercise. So anything you want to manifest, do that every night. Literally visualize yourself going through it. So say you want a new job, before you fall asleep, visualize that you are getting up in the morning, you're excited, you're driving to your new job, you're working there. And if you do that every night for a while, it'll totally happen. And you can start small and practice with different things. A message coming through for some of you is hold the space, hold things together, don't make any sudden changes, stand strong, knowing you are where you are supposed to be. Dig deep within. Let's see. I have to double check my notes, guys, because this doesn't just happen naturally. I got to prep because otherwise I'm all over the place. Lastly, your animal spirit energy for the week is the crow. And the crow is spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen and knowing the unknown. It's said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, you've got strong psychic abilities, you're strong and clear within. And when you're out of balance, you're feeling ungrounded and hypersensitive. And to bring into balance, daily meditation practice. All right, let's get into what you can expect from tonight, September 12th through to September 19th, as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. So general themes for this week. This week will have everything to do with perfection. So let's start with the positive aspects of what I feel will be going on for everyone in varying degrees. Everything may just feel perfect. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to be. There's nothing you're seeking. Everything just feels perfect in that moment. You're content, maybe even happy if you let yourself be. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And many of you may also see the perfection in any perceived imperfections. You realize everything is perfectly imperfect, just the way God created it to be, in order for us to learn unconditional love and acceptance of all, including yourself. Now, the downside for you perfectionists out there and undercover control freaks, hi, you will be triggered big time by people, places, things, situations, animals, computer equipment, phones, music, yourself, and anything else that can show you where you have controlling and perfectionist habits that are unhealthy. And this will be your opportunity to let go of those controlling behaviors and the false belief that everything has to be perfect, or that you have to control everything, right? Or that you have control over everything, because you don't. So the only thing you can control is yourself. Your expectations will not be met, especially if you're out of balance in that way, and you may find yourself feeling disappointed throughout the week. To go along with the white wind energies that I was talking about, you'll also be dealing with the winds of change. In some areas, I do feel like there will be strong winds, literally winds, like outside winds. I do feel like some places will have just more wind than usual, right, during this time of year. So I kind of just feel like it's going to be windy everywhere. As silly as that sounds, the wind does carry energies to blow out the old and bring in the new, along with activations to help increase your vibrational frequency. Expect things that are old to fall away, disappear, or you actively choose to remove the old out of your life, whether that's throwing out junk you no longer need, or you're setting boundaries with yourself and people in your life. So you may just choose to remove people, right? Get the old out, and you're cleaning house mentally, emotionally, and physically. And depending on how aware you are, you'll happily let go of the old, or you're going to fight to hold on to it until the universe forces your hand, right? And trust me when I tell you to make the changes yourself. And you know when it's that time because you feel it internally, you know it. You're getting signs repeatedly over and over and over again. And maybe you're just not listening to it because of fear or whatever the case is. But if you don't make the changes yourself, the universe only gives you so many taps on the shoulder before it smacks you across the face to wake you up. And I've been there, I've done that, and it's way worse than just making the changes that you know you need to make. Learn from my mistakes. There's nothing to fear with this change. It's always beneficial. And look, it just doesn't feel that way in the moment, right? But if you reflect on your life and think about any major changes that you've gone through, no matter how difficult or challenging they were, you're so much better off than you were then, right? So on the heels of the winds of change are golden opportunities. So again, it's another really mixed week of energy. So many of you could see unexpected opportunities coming your way. Feels like things you've never even thought of or considered doing. Take the chance. It may just take you into a beautiful new direction. This week, multitasking won't be your friend. You could feel scattered and you may need to cut down on the things that you're doing and only focus on two main issues. Some of you will be focused on two main concerns this week regardless, and it could be work, love, or money, children, or health, life. You get the idea. It'll be two different areas of your life, and it's all about you trying to balance these. Some of you will just be coming out of some very difficult situations, and you're finally starting to feel really optimistic. You're focused on and are coming up with solutions to improve your situation. You're taking one step at a time, and above all else, you need to trust yourself. The downside to this is repeating of the same mistakes that landed you in the previous difficult situation. So be sure to reflect and take responsibility in your choices that put you in an unhealthy situation. Work, for those of you that are employed, for some I can't talk. Sorry, guys. For some, I feel like there are serious problems in your workplace or within your business if you're a business owner. It doesn't feel like it's the end of the world, but it does feel like it's stuff that you've been ignoring, right? They're problems that you've been ignoring or making excuses about. This week, though, I do feel like you're thinking and seeing more clearly. You start tackling these problems with solutions, and things will end up working out just fine. Now, those of you that work for someone else, you may take time to consider whether or not to move on. Like, I think you're just ready to leave. So you could be feeling a little fearful about that, but just consider the options. Again, change is good. Change is good, especially if it's been nagging at you. Now, some of you could be running around like crazy and you may be very busy. Again, since the energies this week are about balance, focus on two main tasks to get accomplished first. And some of you, I feel, must take a risk in order to better your situation. For some, you've been contemplating doing your own thing. For others, you've been thinking about a career change, a complete shift in the field that you work in. And some of you just want to shift in your employers. Do it. Take the risk. No harm in shopping around, doing some interviews until you find the best fit. That way, you're not losing out anything financially. Those of you that are looking for a job, I feel like those of you that haven't had any luck finding a job, I'm getting a message that you're looking in the wrong places. And I'm also feeling some of you need to just focus on two main prospects and do your homework on these businesses versus applying for everything and anything. And also for some, you need to take a risk. Like you're afraid that you're not qualified or you're not skilled enough. Whatever it is, you're afraid to take the chance. Take the chance. It's going to pay off. Love, those of you in committed relationships, you could have a hard time making time for each other this week. You're both busy. For some of you, this has been an ongoing thing or an issue. Make the time before your relationship falls apart. Some of you have been doing a lot of work on your relationship and there's been progress for sure. However, I am getting a message for some of you that there's still more work to be done in order for this relationship to survive, and for you to remember that every relationship takes two. Problems within it are never just one person's fault. So look at yourself, take responsibility, and communicate, in a healthy manner. Those of you that are single and looking for love, I feel like some of you have been holding off on putting yourself out there because you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect hair, or whatever perfection you're waiting on. And I feel like you really need to let that go and put yourself out there. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting around waiting for the perfect time for a very, very long time. And the next thing you know, you're going to end up alone. Some of you are having problems meeting people or keeping someone in your life due to unrealistic expectations. Reflect on what those may be. Are you judging and not giving people a chance after only one date due to something silly they may have said or did due to nerves or social anxiety, right? Give people more than one chance unless they do something that's totally like turning you off. Remember, most things can be fixed, right? Finances, it's a great week to invest wisely. Also a great week to get clear about your financial situation by knowing which direction you need to balance things, like bringing in more money or spending less. And some of you have improved your financial situation. And again, there's a caution this week falling into old spending habits. So don't undo what you just did and control the impulse to shop to fill a void. Health, some of you will be thinking about or taking action steps this week to improve your health situation. Some of you will be working on balancing personal and professional life to be less stressed, and you're moving yourself from last on the list of caretaking to first on the list. And lastly, spirituality. Some of you may feel that all your day-to-day responsibilities are interfering with your spiritual growth. Once you realize this, you will decide to make the time. And some of you will have some amazing breakthroughs this week by overcoming some extremely painful parts of your past. Oh, excuse me. You're free and you're going to feel that weight come off of you big time. So now it will be time to focus on your future. That wraps up this week's intuitive messages. Let me get to tonight's caller. I have Tasha in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How can I help you tonight?
I don't know. What kind of messages are you getting?
Okay, so let me see. Okay, so have you recently, so I feel like you're having mixed feelings about a situation or maybe a specific person or I just feel like there was maybe some sort of a conflict where maybe there was an emotional outburst or somebody overreacted, whether that was you or the other person. And now I feel like it's either created problems or distance in some way. I don't know. I just feel like there's some distance all of a sudden from somebody that you really maybe cared about. And there's this feeling of possessiveness as well, or there just feels like there's a different, I don't know, some space apart. Have you had a falling out with anybody recently?
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy falling out.
Okay, yeah, because it feels really weird to me. It almost feels like it's something that's so silly that just kind of totally escalated into this weird, awkward, situation, 100%. And now nobody's... Huh?
I said 100%.
Yeah, but I feel like just take a little step back, right? Just it's okay to kind of detach a little bit. I do feel like with a little more time, I feel like this could be resolved. Do you right now feel like it could be resolved?
There's so many parties involved. I'm not sure.
Okay, so of those parties, I feel like there's one person that you're really connected to more with. Like, this just feels like shock, right? Like, oh my God. It's almost, you know what it's like? It's almost like going through a breakup with this person. Like, that's what it feels like, right? It's so intense where it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is my best friend, or this is someone that I just love so much. And like, now we're going through this breakup and so there's one person, I don't know, like, I kind of feel like the other parties involved were part of the problem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's almost like these extra people were coming in, right? And kind of stirring the pot and rocking the boat. But I feel like, and what I'm about to say, I mean this in the absolute most loving way, okay? I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but there's a part of me that just feels like sometimes you are your own worst enemy.
Wow, you're good.
Thank you.
I beat
So
myself up all the time.
yeah, like, I just feel like you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's become such a habit. It almost is like, if everything is going really well and smoothly, it's like you got to shake shit up, right? It's kind of like, okay, well, it can't be good. Like, it can't be okay right now. And it's like this subconscious thing that causes you to then just react. And I kind of feel like that's meshed in with this issue with the falling out with everybody.
That kind of clears up my mind a little bit, made me turn my opinions around.
Maybe you're what? I'm sorry.
I turned like my opinions on things, the way I've been like overreacting, thinking.
Yeah. Look, you know why? You're passionate, right? Like, I just feel like you love hard. Everything you do is just full of extreme energy and passion. Like, you don't do anything half-assed. Like, if you're going to love, you're going to love hard. If you're going to be pissed, you're going to be pissed, right? Like, that's what it feels like.
Right.
And because you have that like undercurrent of energy, when you get triggered by someone, you can't help but just be like super blunt and let it all hang out. And sometimes it just pushes people away. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this other person behaves in a similar way. So that person is like mirroring your behavior. And then you guys just can clash at times.
That's true.
But listen, I really feel like there's a good possibility that with a little time, with a little space, and a little self-reflection, I kind of feel like with one of the people, you're going to be able to kind of reconnect, and you guys will be laughing about this, and it won't be the end of the world. Have you been feeling like, okay, so have you been feeling like stress, angry, worry, guilty? Like, I just feel like you're dealing with guilt and you're dealing with like all this stress and anger and worry. Is that all connected to this situation, or just different? Because like I just feel like you've got some conflict and stuff going on in different areas of your life where maybe you're just kind of feeling like stuck. And what about love? Is there somebody that you're in a relationship with? Like, I almost feel like maybe things aren't working out the way that you had hoped. And
No, that's all good. That's like the only good thing.
Okay, good. So then maybe that's not the person I'm feeling that connect. Maybe it's connected to this other situation. Yeah. Do you have any specific questions for me?
Not really. I kind of just go on like intuition with whatever you guys kind of come up with.
Okay. So One of the other things that I'm kind of feeling is financially. Look, financially, I feel like things are kind of ebbing and flowing, but right now, I feel like you've got to practice some caution and restraint. Um, and I don't know if, maybe there's some stuff going on where you have some extra bills that you weren't counting, didn't know that you were going to have, or something is going to come up unexpectedly in the next couple of weeks. So I kind of feel like you really need to balance out the financial situation. And so I'm just getting caution and restraint. I feel like you've got to, I keep getting that you need to carve out some time and space for yourself. Like you need to de-stress and figure out some good coping mechanisms. And you need to let go of guilt, because I feel like you're constantly, I feel like you feel bad or guilt. Like it almost is like that mother's guilt. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like anybody can guilt you into anything because you just have that mother's guilt. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying. And with there's just turmoil all around. There's family turmoil, there's friend turmoil.
Yeah.
And I'm used to my life being happy and pleasant, and now I'm in this slump where everything's just turmoil-y.
Yeah, everything is kind of, I feel like overall you are a happy individual and things have been really good, but all of a sudden there's just nothing but conflict around you and in different areas. And I do feel like all of that is going to shift. Definitely during the month of October, but you'll be completely out of it by November. I do have to jump off, Tasha. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. And everybody else, I will see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.